Section 1. The itch heard round the world. Let's face it, nobody likes mosquitoes. They are the uninvited guests at every outdoor event. That high-pitched whine as they buzz around our heads? Infuriating. It's like a tiny alarm clock that you can't turn off. The itchy, red welts left behind after they feast? Downright maddening. It's a discomfort that lingers, making us scratch and squirm. Mosquitoes are a nuisance, a pest, a tiny vampire that disrupts our picnics, our sleep, and our sanity. They seem to have a knack for ruining our best moments. But what if we could get rid of them entirely? Imagine a world where these tiny tormentors no longer exist. Imagine a world without mosquito nets, without DEET, without that constant fear of being bitten. A world where we can enjoy the outdoors freely. It's a tempting thought, isn't it? The idea of never having to deal with mosquito bites again. Before we launch a global mosquito extermination campaign, we need to pause and consider the consequences. What would happen if mosquitoes were gone? Like all creatures on Earth, mosquitoes play a role in the delicate balance of our ecosystems. They are food for many species and pollinators for some plants. Eradicating them might seem like a simple solution, but the reality is far more complex. The ripple effects could be profound. What seems like a pest to us is a vital link in the intricate web of life. Removing them could disrupt the balance in ways we can't fully predict. Section 2. Tiny bloodsuckers, mighty roles. Mosquitoes, despite their annoying habits, actually serve several important ecological functions. They are often seen as mere pests, but their role in the ecosystem is far more significant than we might think. For starters, they are a food source for a variety of animals. This includes not just one or two species, but a wide range of creatures. Birds, bats, fish, and other insects all rely on mosquitoes as part of their diet. Without mosquitoes, these animals would struggle to find enough food. Think of it like a chain reaction. The absence of mosquitoes would disrupt the food web. If you remove mosquitoes from the equation, the populations of their predators could decline, creating a ripple effect throughout the food chain. This could lead to unforeseen consequences in the ecosystem. Scientists, but their ecological importance doesn't end there. They have another surprising role. Mosquitoes, believe it or not, are also pollinators. They help in the reproduction of plants by transferring pollen. While they're not as efficient as bees or butterflies, they still contribute to the pollination of certain plant species. This is especially true in areas where other pollinators are scarce. These plants in turn provide food and shelter for other organisms, highlighting the interconnectedness of our natural world. Every small creature has its place and purpose, contributing to the balance of nature. Section 3. Mosquito bites and human health. Of course, we can't talk about mosquitoes without addressing the elephant in the room: diseases. Mosquitoes are vectors for a host of serious illnesses, including malaria, dengue fever, Zika virus, and West Nile virus. These diseases affect millions of people worldwide, particularly in tropical and subtropical regions, causing immense suffering and death. The World Health Organization estimates that mosquito-borne diseases are responsible for over 1 million deaths annually. Public health official. It's a sobering reminder of the very real threat these tiny insects pose to human health. Eliminating mosquitoes could potentially save countless lives and alleviate a significant amount of human suffering, but would it come at a cost? Section 4. A world without mosquitoes. Paradise or problem? The idea of a world without mosquitoes, free from the threat of deadly diseases, is certainly appealing. But as with any major ecological change, we have to consider the potential unintended consequences. Mosquitoes have been around for millions of years, and their absence could have unforeseen impacts on the environment. Scientists, for example, some species of mosquitoes lay their eggs in temporary pools of water. These pools are also breeding grounds for other insects like dragonflies, which are important predators of mosquitoes and other pests. Removing mosquitoes from these ecosystems could disrupt the delicate balance, potentially leading to an overabundance of other insects. Section 5. The Domino Effect. Unintended Consequences. The interconnectedness of nature means that even seemingly small changes can have far-reaching consequences. This is especially true when it comes to something as ubiquitous as the mosquito. Scientists, let's take the example of migratory birds. Many bird species rely on mosquitoes as a readily available food source during their long journeys. Without mosquitoes, these birds might struggle to find enough sustenance, potentially leading to population declines or altered migration patterns. This, in turn, could have knock-on effects on other species and ecosystems along their migratory routes. The The point is, removing any species, even one as seemingly insignificant as the mosquito, can have unpredictable and potentially detrimental consequences for the environment as a whole. Section 6. Could we live without mosquitoes? The science says. The short answer is, we don't know for sure. The ecological impacts of eradicating mosquitoes are complex and difficult to predict with certainty. Scientists are still studying the intricate relationships between mosquitoes and other organisms, and there's much we don't yet understand. Some experts argue that the ecological niches currently occupied by mosquitoes would simply be filled by other organisms, and the overall impact would be minimal. Others, however, caution that the disappearance of mosquitoes could have cascading effects on food webs, nutrient cycling, and other essential ecological processes. Section 7. The Ethics of Extinction: Playing God or Playing Smart. Beyond the ecological considerations, there's also the ethical dimension to contemplate. Do humans have the right to intentionally drive another species to extinction, even a species as widely despised as the mosquito? Environmental activist. Some argue that we have a moral obligation to protect all forms of life, regardless of their perceived value or nuisance factor. Others contend that our responsibility lies primarily with our own species, and that eradicating mosquitoes to protect human health is a justifiable action. It's a complex ethical dilemma with no easy answers. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to eradicate mosquitoes is a societal one, requiring careful consideration of both the scientific evidence and our own moral compass. Section 8. Malaria, Zika, and West Nile. A world without fear? The potential benefits of eradicating mosquitoes are undeniable. A world without malaria, dengue fever, Zika virus, and other mosquito-borne diseases would be a healthier and safer place for millions of people. Public health official. Imagine a future where children no longer die from preventable diseases, where communities are no longer ravaged by outbreaks, where the fear of a mosquito bite doesn't loom over everyday life. The development of new technologies, such as gene editing and sterile insect technique, has made the prospect of mosquito eradication more feasible than ever before. However, even with these advancements, the eradication of mosquitoes on a global scale would be a monumental task, requiring unprecedented international cooperation and resources. Section 9. Weighing the costs: eradication versus control. Eradicating every single mosquito on Earth is a daunting task, to say the least. It would require a massive, coordinated global effort, and the ecological consequences are still uncertain. Scientist. An alternative approach is to focus on mosquito control rather than eradication. This involves implementing strategies to reduce mosquito populations in specific areas, targeting the species that pose the greatest threat to human health. Public health official. This could involve a combination of methods such as eliminating mosquito breeding grounds by draining stagnant water sources, using insecticides responsibly and strategically, introducing natural predators of mosquitoes like dragonflies and bats, developing and distributing effective vaccines and treatments for mosquito-borne diseases. Section 10. Finding a balanced coexistence, not annihilation. Perhaps the most sensible approach to the mosquito dilemma lies in finding a balance between protecting human health and preserving the ecological balance. Scientist. Instead of striving for complete annihilation, we can focus on developing sustainable strategies for coexisting with mosquitoes in a way that minimizes their negative impacts on our lives. Environmental activist. This means investing in research to better understand mosquito ecology, developing targeted control methods that minimize harm to other species, and promoting public health measures to reduce the spread of mosquito-borne diseases. It's about finding a way to live in harmony with nature, recognizing that even the most annoying creatures have a role to play in the intricate web of life. Section 11. The future of mosquitoes: our choice to make. The future of mosquitoes and our relationship with them is ultimately in our hands. These tiny creatures, often seen as mere pests, play a significant role in our ecosystems. We have the power to choose whether we eradicate them entirely, control their populations through various methods, or find a way to coexist with them in a balanced manner. It's a decision that should not be taken lightly. Environmental activist. The impact of our choices extends beyond just mosquitoes. We must weigh the potential benefits against the risks, understanding the broader implications, considering both the scientific evidence and our own ethical values. Ethical considerations are crucial in making informed decisions. The mosquito dilemma is a microcosm of the larger environmental challenges we face today. It reflects the complexity of our interactions with nature. It's a reminder that our actions have consequences, often far-reaching and sometimes unforeseen, and that we must proceed with caution and wisdom as we navigate our relationship with the natural world. Thoughtful decision-making is essential. The choices we make today will determine the fate of mosquitoes and the countless other species with whom we share this planet. Our responsibility is immense, and our actions will shape the future.